Manchester United versus West Ham. Starting 11-wise, I think it's very hard to predict what Jose Mourinho is going to do after what we've seen on pre-season. We've seen him trial numerous different formations and numerous different systems and numerous sort of centre-half partnerships. And I think the only thing that's quite clear is Lukaku will start and the midfield three will likely start as well. And I don't even think that's nailed down. For me, I would like to see United go with a 3-5-2. I think three at the back is ample cover, with all due respect to West Ham, with what you're going to offer. I think we can certainly mop up at the back with a back three. And I would like to see us go with two up front, just so we can try and break a team down. We saw numerous times at Old Trafford when teams sit back and try and defend against us, we struggle to break those down. And I think adding an extra striker in the mix, and sacrificing a centre-half for that, or a defender for that, is one way that we can do that. I think the midfield three has to stay together, which is why I don't think a 3-4-3 suits Manchester United. I think a midfield three allowing Herrera and Pogba to get forward and help out in the creating of goals is vital to the way Manchester United are going to work. I think we can go quite attacking down the wing-backs as well. So I think 3-5-2 will suit it. And I would go, obviously, Big Dave in net. There is no other choice for us. And a back three of, I think, Lindelof and Blind as ball players, with Bay as a bit of a destroyer. Maybe someone to mark Javier Hernandez if he starts. I would expect him to start on his return at Old Trafford. The obvious midfield three of Matic, Herrera and Pogba, which I think has got the potential to be one of, if not the best midfield three in the Premier League. I would go with Jesse Lingard on the left-hand side as a wing-back with a lot of focus on attacking, but he also does the hard stuff coming backwards as well. I would go with Antonio Valencia on the right-hand side as a wing-back. And then up front, I would go with Rashford and Lukaku. I think your centre-halves can be got at in behind if there's an opportunity to do that. And I think as good as Fonte is at 33, I think Rashford's got the run of him. I think Lukaku's pretty quick as well. So I would go with pace to try and get round the back and try and create some space and some chances and get as many shots off on Joe Hart as possible. And I think that's the way Manchester United really have to play it. Danger man-wise, I think if Rashford doesn't start, it'll be Mkhitaryan. I think Mkhitaryan's going to have a massive season for us, and I would be looking to him to ghost into the places that Lukaku leaves when he moves into the channels and drags the centre-halves around a little bit. The same with Marcus Rashford. So I'm going to say Lukaku is the danger man. I think Lukaku's going to move everybody around, and if he gets an opportunity on his debut at Old Trafford, I'm sure he's going to want to put one away. Obviously Paul Pogba now, because Pogba could get shunted out a little bit in some of the bigger games last season. I think that was because the bigger teams knew how to stop Manchester United, and that was to stop Paul Pogba. And I think now we're becoming a team where you've got multiple people that you need to stop. So I would expect Pogba to shine a little bit more than he has this season, certainly with Matic looking out for him in behind. Danger man for West Ham, I think Hernandez on his return to Old Trafford has got to be good money on an each-way bet to score. Maybe not first scorer, but an anytime scorer. I think you've got to look at Hernandez getting on the score sheet at some point. That's just what he does. I also like Snodgrass. I think he's a massively underrated player. I think he's definitely someone that we need to be looking out for in terms of what he's going to try and create for Hernandez. As I mentioned before, I like Fonte at the back. Joe Hart might be an astute signing. I think the jury's out. He had a terrible loan over in Italy, so I'm not sure how he's going to react to that. But obviously, spending so long at Manchester City, you would expect him to want to up his game when he comes to Old Trafford. And we saw many times last season goalkeepers getting man of the match at Old Trafford. So I think there's several players that could do some damage with us. As for where I think West Ham are going to come this season, you were 5 points above that 40 last season, and just inside the bottom half of the table, but an extra 5 points the other way would have put you comfortably into 8th, I think. Quite a long way behind Everton, who sort of broke it off and made it a bit of a top 7 last season. I don't think you've got the quality to break into that top 8, but I do think you've got the quality to be comfortable that you're staying up. So I reckon anywhere from 8th to 12th is where you're going to see West Ham finishing this season. I think you need a bit more quality in midfield. The likes of Noble and that aren't getting any younger. And I think if you got a little bit of quality in there, maybe some loan signings from some of the other Premier League teams or possibly from abroad, you could potentially rival what Everton are doing. But I think ahead of that, United, Arsenal, City, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool even, I think he's probably a bridge too far for West Ham at the moment. But you are settling into the new stadium, so who knows, maybe as time passes that might not be as much of an issue as it clearly was last season. And West Ham might be back in the mix again like there was a couple of seasons ago. But I still think you've got to replace players of the like of Payet's quality, and I don't think you've done that just yet. Prediction for the game, I'm going to say 3-1 United. Lukaku getting a debut goal. Hernandez getting a return to Old Trafford goal. I'm going to say Pogba gets one as well, and then just one from anywhere else on the board, I reckon. So that is my prediction, 3-1 Manchester United. Let's hope for a great game.